set, rolling, and action.
The king of the kitchen, the ruler of recipes, the prince of potatoes and of the veggie table. Here's Scott.
Thank you very much, Scotch, for allowing me the opportunity, the prestigious opportunity, to be here in your kitchen and to cook one of my favorite recipes, sauteed beet stems and greens. Now, this recipe that I have actually came from the Vikings who inhabited Scotchland between 2021 and 2022. They didn't stay very long. When they left in a hurry, they left their cookbook, all their wonderful recipes. It fell into the archives of the University of Scotchland. And as adjunct professor emeritus at Scotchland University, I am responsible for preserving all of those recipes. So I'm going to cook sauteed beet stems and greens under the watchful eye of none other than Rottan Grouchman.
It's Rottan. Rottan. How many times do I have to tell you that? It's not rotten. Rottan. Is this mic working? Hello?
And this recipe, it doesn't take long. So the first thing what we're going to do is to fry up some bacon. For this recipe, we're going to need 4 slices of bacon. That would be 4 rashers in Viking language.
Viking schmikings.
So the important thing in this recipe about frying the bacon is we don't want to over fry it and make it too crispy.
Well, you better not over crisp the bacon.
You just want to give it a nice, mellow, soft, delicious bacon flavor.
Yeah, well, you better not overcook that bacon. I'm telling you right now. Well, you overcook that bacon, it's your fault.
This bacon is almost done. Now this bacon is experiencing a nice, quiet, gentle sizzle. The bacon grease is not splashing up all over the place. If that were the case, the bacon would be cooking too fast. We don't want to cook it too fast. We just want to cook it nice and slow at a relatively low temperature.
Well, you must be the smartest guy on the planet.
Until we see a browning starting to occur. And there is the browning. And there's the first piece, nicely browned, but not crispy. One really needs to be very careful with this bacon not to make it crispy. It will ruin the texture of the sauteed stems and beet greens.
It'll ruin the texture of the sauteed stems and beet greens.
So I think that we have pulled out the bacon at the correct time. And now we're going to just cut up this bacon into smaller pieces. And we'll just transfer this bacon over to this tiny little bowl and set it aside, and we'll warm it up a little bit later. Because this cooks very fast, I'm going to prepare the shallot and the garlic.
And by the way, when are you going to prepare the shallot and the garlic?
Well, this is a shallot. It's a nice shallot, and very interesting to me. is that these shallots divide up in half sometimes. These shallots have a much tangier taste than a sweet onion. This is chopped garlic. I think 1 heaping tablespoon should be enough. And we'll set this shallot and the garlic over here with the bacon. So we went to the grocery store the other day and we bought some beets. Oh, we left 2 or 3 inches of the stems onto the beetroot. That's what the Vikings did. And if it was okay with the Vikings. One very important thing in this process is we have to rinse beet stems and greens very thoroughly, because oftentimes there's going to be some grit on there, some dirt, whatever, maybe even some bugs.
Oh man, I hate bugs. I hate them.
We got to make sure that it's very clean. So I'm going to take the stems and the greens over to the sink and give them a really good bath. It's very easy to separate the stems from the greens. Really all you have to do is just pinch it. Now of course I'm using very cold water.
Oh, it better be cold water.
In this rinsing process you will come across some gummy stuff which will reject and only take the good stuff. We have some very nice clean beet stems, very nice clean beet greens. Now because these beet stems are going to take a little bit longer to soften up, we're going to put them in the skillet first, and then later we'll put the leaves in. The length of cut is important in this recipe for its texture. And what the Vikings did is they wanted a 1/2 inch cut, about the length of a thumbnail. Oh yes, and I'd like you to give a big round of applause to Harvey over here.
We love you, Harvey! We love you!
Who is playing some wonderful beat music. It's got a good beat. Get it? It was just a joke.
Yeah, and a pretty lame joke at that. What do you think you are, some kind of a stand-up comic? Who writes your material? Edgar Allan Poe?
I don't use any specific method of cutting up these greens. I just bunch them together and give them a very coarse chop. Although this looks like a lot of beet greens, it's going to saute down and shrink tremendously. I have the ingredients that we're going to saute all lined up in the order in which I'm going to put them into the skillet. So let me just go over them. We have some butter, we have the shallot and the garlic ready, the beet stems, we have that bacon that was cooked. Now we also are going to put in some orange marmalade. And you're going to ask me, why are you going to put orange marmalade in with beets? Beet stems and beet greens have a little bit of a bitter taste to some. So to offset that bitter taste, we're going to put that sweet orange marmalade in there. And in addition to the orange marmalade, we're going to add some orange zest. And of course, we've got salt and pepper, and we're going to put in some crushed red pepper flakes. And finally, we'll put in the beet greens and allow them to saute until they're just perfect. So we're going to crank up this skillet to about 325, 350 degrees. Now remember, we cooked the bacon in here, so there's a little bit of...
You know, your tassel's really bothering me. Can't you do something with it?
There's a little bit of bacon grease left in the skillet, and that's okay, but actually I'm going to add some butter now. So we're going to put in 2 large tabs of butter. The butter is all melted nicely, and we're ready for the shallot and the garlic. Perfect, looking good. We don't want that garlic to burn. We're ready to put in the stems. Just by sticking the stems with a fork that they've got a little bit more to go, and it's going to be probably another 3 or 4 minutes. Now I can tell by the sound of the sizzle schmizzle, that it's probably just the right temperature. Okay, it's close, but not quite. The stems need to be sauteed a little bit more. A couple more minutes.
Wait, a couple of more minutes? I'm hungry. Step it up.
Now it's very important that you get the beet stems to the right tenderness that you like before you add the beet greens. Generally, if you add the beet greens before you get the stems to the right tenderness, the beet stems will be too stiff, too firm, and not soft the way they should be. So the beet stems have reached the right tenderness that I really like. So now it's time to add the bacon. Now the orange marmalade. I guess we're going to clean out this jar. Some orange zest. Now the bacon has a lot of salt in it, but I'm still just going to give it a little bit more. Give it a little bit of pepper and some crushed red pepper flakes. Now with all those ingredients added, we're just going to put in these beet greens. I'm just going to give these a little bit of a toss. And we can put the lid on it for 2 minutes. You know, this is having a fragrance of spinach. It's coming through nicely. And the fragrance of that orange zest and the orange marmalade is coming through nicely. I can smell it. It's wonderful. And as you can see, the beet greens have famously cooked down during the sauteing process. Well, at this point, I would say that it's ready to eat.
Now I'm really hungry.
Well, perfection takes a little bit of time. So I turned off the heat. I'll cover it up. And now I'm going to proceed to make Rottan Grouchman's.
It's Rottan. Rottan, Rottan. How many times I have to tell you that?
Famous, most delicious, favorite dish, ham medley. So in this dish we just need a tiny, tiny bit of olive oil. And in this medley we use some powdered potato. We're going to sprinkle that in there. We have to give it a spray of water. Very good. Next we add some Parmesan cheese. And again, we want to give this a spray of water. In the center of the ham, we want to add some American cheese. That's pretty good. And then another layer of ham, some more potato, spray of water, another layer of ham, and this one is going to be more Parmesan cheese with a spritz of water, and we'll just top this off. And we're going to let the ham warm up nicely. Now we can tell when it's warmed up when that American cheese that's in the center is starting to melt out, ooze out the side. Now you're probably wondering, what on earth is Professor Wikigoogle doing now? Well, I know that the man who's judging me, Rottan Grouch.
It's not Grouchman, it's Grouchman. Grouchman, Grouchman, Grouch. How many times I have to tell you that?
Grouchman loves this little dish. A little bit of mayonnaise, some dill relish, one hard-boiled egg, and now everything is ready to plate up. We'll start with this egg. And now for the final touch. A little bit of feta cheese. And now, Rottan Grouchman, you are ready to dine. And of course, it would be an honor to pour you a glass of champagne. And I hope you will drink the whole glass of champagne before you make your final decision.
Bon appetit. Got the cheapest napkins I've ever seen, and I can't even open them up. Look at that, single ply. Oh, brother. Oh, well. Well, let's see what we got here. Let's see, what should we start? Well, we should probably start with what's closest to me, and that would be my favorite boiled egg, mayonnaise, with dill relish. 2 thumbs up. Mmm. Oh, delicious. Oh. Here's to you.
Here, 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 here.
Okay, now we're going to try this ham. The ham is so delicious. I can taste that potato, the Parmesan, the American cheese. Excellent. Delicious. Wash it down with a little bit of bubbly.
Here, 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 here.
And now the most important part of this dish is the beet stem and green sauteed with a bunch of ingredients, topped with a little bit of feta cheese. Let's go for it. Oh! You can't buy this stuff in a restaurant. Those red pepper flakes are coming through. You know, the Vikings knew what they were doing when it came to beet green stems. Oh, it's so good. You know, Professor Wikigoogle, I'm going to give you a score. On fresh ingredients, you get a 25. That's the maximum you can get in fresh ingredient category, 25. Technique, 50. And that's the maximum you can get on technique. So right now you're on a roll. Your total, subtotal, is 75. On presentation, 15. That brings you up to 90. Campaign, 20. Your score is 110. Congratulations. Now, don't bother me anymore because I'm finishing up this meal here, all right? Wow. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, good.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy about anything. I'm not happy. Listen, I don't have any friends. I don't want any friends. Friends always want to borrow something. Cup of sugar, couple of eggs. Hey, listen, you want some ingredients? Go to the grocery store. Hello, is this mic working? Hello? Hello?